we're going. We're live.
We are live. Hello, everyone. This is episode 121 of Live Drawing, and we are privileged to have my good friend Alison McGlone here with us again. Hello, Alison.
Hey, how's it going, everyone out there in TV land?
TV Land, yes.
Yeah.
I used to watch TV Land.
Same.
Yeah.
Love TV land.
Used to watch it with my mom. They had all the old superhero shows on there.
Yeah, I watched it with my mom as well. My mom and sometimes my dad.
Oh, cool.
Let's do that. Okay, I took my mug out of the thing so we can just see the art.
We are gathered here to talk about and work on and hear about your new opus, The Last Sentinel. It's on Kickstarter now. It has made its goal, but it is marching towards some stretch goals, I think.
Well, actually, I don't have any stretch goals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, the only thing I have is literally there's one add-on that people can add on to it, and that's it. Everything else is just as is.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Actually, I think I was talking with you about it, and then you're just like, "Yeah, I just want to do a thing where there's no stretch goals or anything." I was like, "That's a great idea."
It's just the book or just the whatever project you want, and
yep. So you just get the comic. I have a few different versions of the comic you can get. Like you can get the what was it? You can get the your cover version, which somebody has already bought.
Oh wow, okay. I better get it finished then.
Yeah, somebody did order one. Then I have the regular average version of the book. Then I have a version of it that is literally a version that I made it look like it's really beat up.
Oh, cool. I dig that.
Weathered version. I think I called it the dark and gritty version. And the only other piece I have is that it's an add-on. Is I'm gonna do the map of the area where everything is set.
Oh, that's cool. I think you sent me an earlier unfinished, rougher version of that when you sent me the reference.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Oh, but the main action takes place down in this area, right here, Raven's Edge.
Oh, cool.
And I reference a few of the other places in the course of the story, but I'm going to be inking this up, and I'm going to scan it in. I got to go to a Staples or something to scan it because I don't have a scanner that big. And I'm going to do I'm going to dress it up so it looks like an old map. It'll be a cloth map.
Oh, that's very cool.
I've gotten one person who wants one, so definitely got to do it now. So, and I'll freely admit, I'm mainly doing it because I wanted one myself. So
that's okay. That's hey.
But yeah, so that's the general gist of it. I know Ian popped a link right in there of the book and the Kickstarter for it. I'm currently at $699.
Can we give the $1 bump?
Yeah, basically we get the $1 bump to $700. So the way I talk about the book and what I say to it and what it is it's a martial arts, high-flying martial arts adventure in a broken world. And so yeah, it's basically a quasi-post-apocalyptic world. Actually, there's nothing quasi about it. It is a post-apocalyptic world. I'd like to say I'm primarily influenced by a series of books called by Gene Wolfe. His what can I think of it? The book of the New Sun. But I'm perfectly honest, it's coming off more like Thundar the Barbarian. So
that's all right. Love Thundar.
Same with me. I have even made a character tribute in will appear in a later issue with my tribute cover I intend to do, which this is right here, my Ninja Turtles #1 tribute cover.
Oh, cool.
And I
Let's
have
see that.
this character right here, who's named Mach,
Okay.
as there's Ukla the Mach.
Yeah. The last time I watched Thundar, I think it was with Jay. I think Jay was there. He's in the comment section. Says sup.
Yeah, I see him.
I think we had a couple of Guinness and watched some Thundar back in the day.
That sounds very appropriate.
Yeah. Brian, hey Brian, Kayla,
Yeah.
Peter Palmiotti, how you doing?
Yeah, it's my partner in crime, Mr. Palmiotti. And part of this whole thing of why I'm doing this is so I can afford to pay Peter to ink my sword and sorcery book I'm working on.
That'll be cool. Peter inked many an excellent comic.
He did.
Got practically a whole short box from the Aquaman run that he did with Jim Calafiore over to my left here.
Oh, that's amazing.
There was one book I actually stumbled across recently that he did the inks for. It was like a $20.99 special. I think he was inking Calafiore in that too.
Oh, cool.
I know $20.99 has kind of gotten a second life with the young folk discovering it these days.
That it has, heavily. I mean, it's all because of Spider-Verse, but yeah. And some of the 29 stuff is interesting.
I liked it at the time, and there's some of it I like even to this day. I still, for the most part, I still liked. I like the concept of the X-Men book, and you had Ron Lim inked by Adam Kubert, which was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
The Doom book was a lot of fun.
The Doom book was the best one, I think.
Even the Ghost Rider one that was drawn by a young Chris Pacello was really good. Chris Bacalo.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. And I read a smattering of the other ones. Like the Fantastic Four was just kind of like trapped in the future, and was it like Nation X was another one?
Yep, that was one. And of course, I think everybody read Spider-Man at one point.
Yep. Beautiful artwork in that one.
Yeah, Rick Leonardi, I think.
Yep. With Al Williamson.
Yeah, that's right. That was a really good looking book. I think I think I enjoyed Doom the most. I liked the X-Men stuff. I thought it was interesting how they did it.
It was a cool idea. Like you have a group of people who have never met an X-Man and trying to live up to what they think an X-Man is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that idea.
Yeah, I did too. It was good stuff.
For some reason, there we go. It was blurry.
Yeah.
Hi, Ben. Jay says worshipping Charles Xavier was a quote premise. I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That was a really neat idea.
Even with a character like what was it? What was his name? Metalhead. That was the guy that turned into metal and was a rock musician.
Yeah.
It was a different time back then. A much simpler time.
It was the 90s.
A pre 9/11 world.
Yep.
So as I was going through the riff today that you sent me for this character, I was just thinking about kind of in general the different ways that I know I've approached it. I'm sure you've approached being asked to draw characters for a first time or doing a gig for a first time.
Oh god, yeah.
I try to look at it as instead of trying to have a concept execution when I'm first doing it, is I try to think of it as an exploration. Like I am pathfinding my way through this, and I just kind of have to hope that between what I was given and what I am bringing with me, I can, noodle my way through it.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to me.
My first crack was that lunchtime sketch, and it was an honest attempt. I saw the mix of like the concept and my crutches that I delved into, but it definitely needs some tweaks. Needs to get back more towards what you had sent me.
Yep.
I don't know. I've been working a lot on like cheekbones and skull structure lately, so
Well,
trying
that's
to,
fair.
yeah.
I said the big thing about her is she's technically, well, you would call her Asian.
Yep.
Uh, she's technically, if I was going to say a specific Asian heritage, I would probably say Tibetan.
Well,
Uh,
and since it's not my like approaching it with that trying to balance cartooning and illustration, like I don't want to, lean on any sort of like over exaggeration too much or anything. So,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't
no,
know, and I didn't know honestly when I was looking at the ref, like, because you have such that heavily influenced style that like, is it just the style? Is this the character? I don't know.
yeah. I definitely have a strong manga element to my
Yeah.
art style, so and it shows through. Um, I've actually been trying to tone it back a little bit. But then again, it's like I keep going back to some of my earlier heavy references, which was Frank Miller post Ronin,
Hmm.
and that's when he found Lone Wolf and Cub.
Lone Wolf and Cub, and what was the Dark Horse book that he did that was like that sci-fi spoof? It was like Blast Off or
Oh
something.
yeah, it was something like Blast Off. That was a cool book.
I think they only ever did like one issue, but it was like a parody sci-fi comic that he did where it was, especially the people who were so shocked by DK2,
Yeah.
like he was doing like Harvey Kurtzman gags in that book.
Yep. I mean, DK2 is DK2. I didn't really. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Hey Ben, yeah, I miss seeing you at RICC as well. Did not attend this year, so
that's like
uh,
the first RICC you haven't been to.
it is in fact. Um,
Rocket's
Jay
Convoy.
says, I think Spider-Man 2099 kind of worked. I like the idea. I like Miguel as a character. If you go back and reread the first issue, though, like it's not a great introduction. So it's one of those like where the show, if you're binge watching it, you got to get through a few episodes.
Yeah.
Um, and it also just depends if you like Peter David as a writer. Like it's very Peter David,
Oh
at
God, yeah.
least from a scripting standpoint. And I don't love everything Peter David ever wrote. So it's
No, I'm kind of picky on Peter David stuff. I
yeah.
mean, generally, I like his Hulk stuff.
I
As
liked
long
his
as
Captain Marvel run.
I
I thought,
was actually just going to get to that one.
yeah,
I mentioned X Factor. I had some enjoyment of, and his Captain Marvel run I really liked.
yeah.
That was my favorite thing he did, actually.
Oh, cool. And I guess Chris Cross, who drew that stuff, who I always liked his work. I guess he's working on an X-Men book, which is interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, the only X Men books I'm really reading right now, I'm reading Peach Momoko's Ultimate X Men.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Rocket, what are you complaining about? I'm not coming over there. He's on my bed whining.
I've got a stack of. I was caught up for a little bit, but with everything going on lately, I fell behind. I've got a couple of issues of Uncanny I still got to read. I've been picking that up.
Oh, wait, I have been reading Uncanny because that's Gail Simone's been writing that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I have been reading that, and I've enjoyed it so far. I think I'm an issue behind at least, though.
Yeah.
And uh, I've been doing Greg Capullo's Wolverine.
I read the first two, I think. I did not find the one, whichever issue he's fighting Colossus. I haven't found that one yet.
I think that's 3.
Okay.
I haven't inked with a brush in forever. Feeling weird.
You've been doing all digital lately?
No, I've been doing a cross between using like Tombow pens and a few other things. But when it really comes down to it, I always enjoyed inking with a brush.
Yeah.
So trying to get back to doing it.
Tombow is what Simonson uses these days.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people do.
Mm.
I know Dave Finch uses a combination of like microns and Tombow. Um, uh, Daniel Warren Johnson uses pretty much whatever he has at hand. And he inks with a parallel brush half the time. And there goes some brushes. No, Rocket, you cannot play with my paintbrushes. I know you want to.
Yeah, Bruce is just chilling. He's sleeping over on Camille's desk.
Rocket was chilling, then I started streaming, so of course he has to make a nuisance of himself.
Yep.
And if we're lucky, Kaiju will make an appearance.
Peter says Chris Cross is doing Weapon X-Men. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, Pete's brother just launched a Kickstarter, I believe. Him and Amanda Connor, I think they just did one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they just launched. It's like, or like it's launching now or something.
Yeah, they've done a bunch with their paper films line. Been pretty successful with that. Be curious to know if he's ever going to get to do any more of. He and Amanda did a book called Gatecrasher back in the day.
Oh, that book was cool.
That was a fun book.
Yeah, I remember that book. Forgot all about that book until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, they only did a handful of issues, and I think it was actually published by like the Wizard magazine guys.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think it was. And that's probably why they only did a couple issues of it. So,
Yeah. I don't know if he ever got the rights back or if they're just stuck in limbo somewhere or what the deal was. Chad says he is adding to the crowdfunder roundup this week. Thank you, Chad.
Oh, very cool.
We're going to get that $1.
Yes.
We're going to get that 700.
Need that dollar. Yeah, so yeah, so
like white hair, so.
Yep, she has stark white hair.
I still want to try to figure out how to give it volume, so I'm just gonna.
Yep. I'll take your time with it.
Yeah. I'm just doing another study because I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
She's got like got bangs in the front.
Yep. And her hair can go down to about her shoulders. When I end up doing some of her backstory stuff, she's going to be bald. So, since she's effectively she was basically trained in a Shaolin temple initially. The Order of the Sentinel is like a they're kind of like a Jedi, kind of like a Mistborn character. So they got weird, funky powers. Brother and Amanda are doing Deadly Trio Doomsayer 1 with Tucci and Polito. Already 200 backers. Jesus Christ, already 200 backers.
Right.
Yeah. No, you got the guy who does She and everything in there too, I guess. But,
Oh, Billy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm making this and I'm realizing this is why I need Peter.
It's always interesting because it's a collaboration. I mean,
Yep.
You know, I've seen him make a couple of, coming to mind, I've seen him make a few different people and he was able to adapt his line. So I'll be interested to see what he does with your stuff.
Yeah, I'm very curious at what he does with my stuff. We've definitely talked about it. I know we're going for kind of a little bit of an Ernie Chen kind of style with it. And then I'm going to go in with the Zipatone and everything and go nuts.
It's going to be busier than your usual fare then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like adding tone to my stuff, but I don't usually add a lot.
Yeah.
but I intend to put in a bunch. So actually, I have a what I'm probably going to do is I have a file that lets me kind of emulate duotone, and that's probably what I'm going to do.
That's cool. Does it look pretty good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really close to it.
Okay.
Like I was very impressed with how it came out. That it does look a lot like duotone. Actually, I got the file from Nate Picos.
That's cool.
I think he was selling it for like $5, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll spend $5 to play with that."
Yeah. I bought a few of those retro products. Some of them work really well. Others they take some tweaking in Photoshop or whatever. But
Yep. No, I completely agree.
Big Skull. I
Yeah,
don't know. I usually do a couple of just head studies, and then I try to work out the silhouette and try to think of how that's going to be done in an interesting way. That's generally like a how I start an approach on a new character that I haven't worked on before. And I don't really, obviously when it's a character you create, every facet of the world, everything that's going on. So just trying to,
Yeah, no, I completely get it. I mean, I'm kind of similar when I'm first drawing a character. There are very few characters I can just draw without like having to do like a quick study or something from. It's funny. One of the few characters I can always draw without any reference is the Tick. Uh, I drew
I would
him
agree with that.
in high school. What?
I would agree with that. He's one of those characters, and it was funny. I was sitting next to Matt Horak, who did it was Spider-Man, Deadpool for Marvel when I was in Ohio the last
Mhm.
time,
Yep.
and we did a sketch trade. He had like a sketchbook that he was doing that was like the official handbook of the Marvel universe. So I did a sketch for him in that, and I gave him one of my blank covers, and he was like, the Tick is one of those characters that you don't really need that much reference for, other than the antennae. So
Yeah. And I think it's what, 5 antennae?
let's see, one, two, three, four. Yeah, four segments, and then the little
Yeah, then the
buttony end thing. Yeah.
yep. Okay. Yeah, because I know that was like a big deal with it that a lot of people don't seem to get that right. So
It's one of the things that NEC was always surprisingly strict about. And it didn't matter how much clout you have as an artist, whether you were a person who just wandered into the Quincy store and just wouldn't leave them alone, or if you were Brian Boland.
I actually kind of like that. Uh, hmm.
Oh, thanks, Peter. Yeah, just drop it in and draw a cover. I was always bad at that when I have even when I had a quick deadline, I would try to at least figure something out. There was one cover for IDW that was supposed to be like the big Hasbro crossover. I don't remember what it was called, but it was a number of years ago. And I remember just doing because it was going to be an opportunity to draw ROM, because I'd read a ton of ROM comics in my life.
I made you draw ROM. I was happy.
There's you, and then there's the guy that runs the Little Giant show, Jason Brodnick. He's a massive ROM fan. I've drawn
That,
him a ROM before.
that doesn't surprise me. Uh,
But I always try to come up with like a little story or something. There
yeah,
was
it does have something going on.
I think the last sci-fi cover that I did was for Scout, and I just kept asking the guy so what kind of messed up stuff debris even could we show? Because when you get tasked to draw a cover and all you get is the turnarounds for a main character, you can't just draw the character with just a white background or whatever. It's just
No, no,
I mean you
that's why
can.
that's why I sent you my Bible.
Yep. Yep.
Which I sent you a version of the Bible. I have a more detailed version of it now.
And I'm sure you'll grow it out as things keep moving along.
That's my hope. I am a gamer after all, so I need to have all this stuff spelled out.
Cheekbone. It's also the distance from the nose that the skull bits are that, like, I noticed, especially in some of my stuff from about a year and a half ago, that some of those things were really starting to float on me.
Mm. You know EJ Barnes?
Yeah,
One
EJ's
of her
awesome.
one of her criticisms of me, she goes, "Where are the cheekbones?" And I'm like, "They're invisible."
Yeah. You don't have to draw the whole thing, but just putting an indication in the right spot can make a big difference.
No, I definitely did. So
Yeah.
I was trying to do it with color, and it didn't really come out. So
Yeah. Anytime I tell myself, like, "Oh, I can save it in color," I can't.
yep, that yeah.
I have to plan the color, like, from the start. And
Yeah, I
for
have to
this one,
do that too. So,
when I looked at your colored stuff from the coloring that you'd shown me, I was thinking about going in and doing almost a monotone. Like, you
oh,
had
that's
this
fine.
light, well, you had on this piece this, like, it looks like it's almost a purplish, and it looks like you have a black zipatone here, and then
Yep,
like a light magenta behind it, so it almost looks purple.
yep.
I was thinking about going like a almost all purple cover somehow.
Yeah, go for it. It's funny. This character was supposed to be a secondary character, and she got away. She got away from me.
As Bob Ross
So
would say, the happy accidents.
yeah, it was definitely a happy accident, that thing, because it goes back to my manifested comic book. Because the Last Sentinel is a spiritual successor to the manifested comic, and it picks
Okay.
up right where that left off. Now, you don't need to read the manifested comics to kind of explain everything that's going on, like in the first page. So, but
Daniel
if anybody
Dominguez
has,
says,
it's neat.
probably one of the best shows I've seen in a while is Arcane on Netflix. The storyline, the artwork, the music is just superb. How well done. I haven't seen it, so have you seen that one?
I watched the first season. Actually, I watched most of the first season, I should say. I need to finish it. I really liked it. It was really good, and they did a really interesting combination of 2D and 3D art that I loved.
I think I have a just a bad reaction to some of that stuff because when they first started blending the 2D and 3D back like in the early 2000s,
Mhm.
it was always not good.
No, it sucked. No, if the best way I can describe it is it's they kind of do it the way Spider-Verse does it.
Oh, okay.
And Spider-Verse, I think, has done it the best, and Arcane is a very, very close second.
That's cool. Yeah, the 2D 3D lookish that the Spider-Verse look. I still haven't seen it, but I still want to check it out. Was in that most recent Ninja Turtles movie.
That was fun.
It looked cool.
That was a lot of fun. I saw that in the theater. I enjoyed it. That was worth my time. Then again, I'll see just about anything that's Ninja Turtles. So,
I didn't see any of the live quote unquote live action ones.
the new ones?
The Michael Bay ones, yeah.
I
I
saw both of them. They were sufficiently silly.
didn't see any of those.
I mean, I'm not going to get the Ninja Turtles I want. The closest thing to that would be the original movie that they did way back in 1990,
Oh yeah.
because that's the closest thing to the original comic book. Because they definitely took a lot from the original comic when they made that. You know, Splinter being a rat, not a person, that type of thing.
Was Splinter a person in one of these movies?
Well, in the TV show, the original cartoon.
He was a rat in the cartoon.
He started as a person. He was Hamato Yoshi, and then he got changed from the mutagen.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while, so I believe you.
No, I preferred the Daredevil style beginnings and all that. I think the 2014 cartoon he was a person too, or 2012 cartoon. That's it. The 3D one that they did. I believe he started off as a person in that too.
Hello, Michael DeFonte. How are you?
Oh, Mikey's here. Hey, Mikey. Mikey's gonna be helping me move.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yep.
You will be paid in pizza, sir. That is the societal contractual agreement.
Yeah, he's on a fairly strict diet though, so he'll be paid in something that's basically keto friendly. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Dietary restrictions, that makes sense.
Yep. Everybody else will have pizza.
It's a little better.
Yeah, it's working.
I was looking at the shoulder cloak cape dealy.
Oh yeah.
And in
His
some
cape has a
pictures,
mind of its own.
in some pictures, it splits off into two pieces, and I thought that was a cool compositional element.
Yeah, the cape when it comes to the rules of physics, the laws of physics, it follows more the rule of what I think looks cool at the time.
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting graphical element.
I'll completely admit it's from my love of Swan. So I love how Todd McFarlane gave that cape basically its own. It's like it was its own character.
I wholly admit I never got into Spawn.
That's fine.
Yeah. I did read basically anything that another writer wrote of that universe. Like I read the Alan Moore Violator, I read the Neil Gaiman Angela stuff. Sam and Twitch, that was a good one.
I was going to mention Sam and Twitch is probably the best stuff that they did. I mean, I like the Alan Moore Violator stuff too.
Bart Sears drawing giant Bart Sears stuff.
Yeah, and then he didn't finish it though. He didn't do the last issue for some reason. Capullo did.
I'd completely forgotten that. It had been so many years.
Yeah, it's always something I've been like, huh, interesting. Oh yeah, Daniel says supposedly they're making an R-rated Turtles movie. It's supposed to be The Last Ronin, is what they're talking about making into a movie. Which I'm fine with. I just would like something that was more like the original comic of just the story-wise. I mean, I liked The Last Ronin. I thought it was good.
That's the kind of thing that sounds like they're trying to make it happen through fan interest to me. Like they're telling people like, hey, we would do this. It could be a thing. And if they could get enough internet momentum, I think that's what they're trying to do.
Everybody's trying to get the Deadpool effect.
Well, like Todd with his Spawn movie, he leaked intentionally like every step of the process. And even had a star attached, and it still hasn't,
Jamie Foxx is attached, and it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, you have Academy Award-winning film star attached to it, and it still hasn't happened.
What was the? There's a fan film for Spawn that's out. That came out years ago. It was really good. They took place in a grocery store.
Interesting. I remember the HBO series. I watched that, and I remember
I like the HBO
the
series.
movie
Yep, I like the
they did
movie
in the
too. It's fun.
90s.
It was cheesy fun.
Yeah.
Also, the guy who played the Violator was great.
Oh, John Leguizamo.
That was it. I thought it was Leguizamo, but I wasn't positive. Hmm.
I think everything's too centered. It's a horrible composition.
You're definitely sounding like what I go through when I'm trying to make draw stuff that I have never tried before.
Yeah, and that's just, it's an exploration. I mean, it's easy. It would be easy to just draw a posed figure, just, leaning on a pile of stuff.
Yep,
But I'm trying to,
I'm trying to do more.
yeah, give it something.
I was going to draw Undersea Hero tonight, but I packed the comic, so
It's all right. I do have I've been inking the other page we were working on. I can pull that out.
that'd be cool to see.
There's the radio bear bestowing his bear knowledge to Undersea Hero on his little radio.
I
And
love that.
Undersea Hero basically being like, of course, it's so simple. And then we, cut back to the correlator being like, finally, Krill Force
That's
is
so great.
unleashed. And then Krill Force, like the next page after this, I'm kind of dreading because it's like 10 million little heavily armed shrimp that I got to draw. So
Ooh, no, that sounds like a pain, but fun.
it'll be funny. And that's I'll try to take each one and give him a little like personality. So it's not like being a copy machine. So
Yeah.
that's kind of that's where we're at on that. I'll probably get them both done over the weekend. I'll get this one done and the next one done over the weekend.
That works.
I didn't get it done this past weekend because we went out and about a little bit for my birthday. So
Oh, that's allowed. No, I got the one of the things about this is going to be able to go to the printer pretty quickly, so I pretty much got just about everything done. So I got to ink the map, but that'll go to a completely different printer. And I have the majority of the issue completed. I got a couple pages I got to draw, and I got to color a bunch of it. But other than that, it's done.
aside from coloring it, finishing all the lettering probably.
Oh yeah, I got a letter too. So I got to review my script a little bit. Granted, my scripts are very, very loose. Like I don't even write dialogue for my scripts. I do that later. Kind of know what they're gonna say as I'm drawing it, so then I give it a read through and edit. One of the cool things about Clip Studio is you can bring up your entire, basically everything you've typed into it, you can bring up for every page and then change it where you want it and it'll adjust the balloon.
With the writing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, once you put it in, it will do everything. What is your problem, Rocket? God, all he's doing is bitching. Actually, I think I know what it is. Usually, like if I'm home around this time, typically I'm like in bed by now lately. I'd like to say it's because, to blame being old or something, but no, it's totally mostly MS reasons.
Neither is fun, but it'd be
Then I'll be up at
easier if it
3 in
was
the
just
morning.
just the olds.
Yep, it would be. Then I'll be up at 3 in the morning for a bit, so before I fall back to sleep. Starting to think I want to pull the G pen out and go to town.
So I'm thinking about
I realize I got to find the G pen if I do that. So. It's funny. I've been drawing her a lot with swords lately. She doesn't even get the swords in the first issue.
Yeah, the swords, again, trying to think about the silhouettes and like the big cape. It has like a, do you want to have its symmetry, or do you want to have it go the opposite? And that's what I'm trying to figure out with the big silhouette now.
Mm-hmm. The
Because I've pushed away from symmetry a lot, but it's such a graphical element that it lends itself to just having a striking.
Yep. No, I know exactly what you mean.
The other thing you can do is something like this, where it's like one goes like a million miles away, and then the other one goes a lines kind of along.
Yep.
There's only so much real estate on a cover.
Yep.
The page is very small.
It's true. I try to I like using the giant cape because I can also give the illusion of movement with it.
Yeah. That's
And
a
if
good.
I want to cover something, I can do it. So I refer to that as cheating.
I apologize. I'm going to butcher this name. Vasilios. It says, "Hi everyone. I have a question. What kind of blue pencil lead are you using?" This is uni lead. It's I get it from Jet Pens. You really don't have to use blue lead anymore, but it's just something I got used to, and this is my favorite brand. And no, they don't pay me to say that. So
Yeah, I use this is just a Strathmore red lead that I have in my lead holder. So my pencils lately I've been using is it Neo something? Neo, I forget the name of it. D-Dubs turned me on to it. Daniel Warren Johnson. He's like, if you're not using this lead, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, all right, I'll buy a set of the lead and see what it's like. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good.
yeah, I think Campana uses the uni lead.
Yeah, the uni lead's pretty good.
Yeah, it's better than the stuff you get at the grocery store.
Yep. The big lead.
Big lead. I think I'm starting to get an idea.
What do you use for your pencil lead? Do you use a 2H? And what do you use?
Just an HB.
HB.
Yeah. Got
So
used
number
to.
2 pencil.
Yeah, number 2 pencil. I mean, I don't do like graphite shading. If I did, I would get something super soft, like a like a 4B or whatever, or a 6B.
Yeah, I've been using a 6B with some of my stuff lately. So.
Yeah. I don't have the ability to not smudge it in ways that I don't want to smudge it. Like I just can't.
That's respectable.
I've tried. I've done the put the paper down. I've done the frisk it. I've tried it all. I can mess that up with ease. Okay, that's not a bad idea right there.
Give me
Especially
one
if
here.
and your title goes at the top, or is it going down the side or something?
I will adjust it to fit your art.
Yeah, I'll just stick with the classic. And then I'd want to bring the horizon way down here. And I know that looks like a bunch of squiggles, but what I'll do is I'll take
light box.
This is just like you'll see the main silhouette.
Oh yeah.
And then like you'll see just like squiggles to where I want to block off any sort of background elements. So like I'll take that and then I'll do a tighter version of it.
Oh, that makes sense.
That'll be the couple of studies, a tighter version of that, and we'll see what you think of it.
I'm sure I will love it.
If my camera would stop getting blurry.
That doesn't seem to be that bad. You just want to complain. You've now come over to me to complain. Yes, you have.
Peter asks, if you're having an outdoor sword fight and it's raining, would you get hit by lightning?
That depends. If you're fighting in the midst of a lightning storm, it is possible because you're swinging around a giant piece of metal. I don't know of too many cases where it actually happened. I'd have to research it a bit, but it's definitely possible.
I've seen Highlander. That definitely happens.
Yeah, and I've heard Usagi Yojimbo. So yeah, I mean, Jay got hit by lightning. In their very first appearance, when he was swinging around his Yari.
I can't say, I don't even think I've actually read the Albedo #2, unless it's in that omnibus at the beginning. I don't know if I've ever actually read that, the first appearance
First appearance of Jay?
of Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh yeah, that's the first appearance of Usagi is that's Albedo or Critters or something like that premiered in.
Yeah. I think the big collection is just like when they started doing single issues.
Yeah, they have some stuff that collects the older stuff, but you're not missing much. I would say just do the ones like the Fantagraphics they put out years ago and stuff. The when they collected the single issues. And the first appearance of Jay, I mean, Jay is an amazing villain. I love him. Also, it's Stan Sakai giving a tribute to Jason Voorhees. That's why he is Jay.
I did not know that.
Yep, it all deals with the if you think of the Japanese honorifics, if Jay was to be talked to by someone, it would be Jay-san. And that's where it comes from.
Okay.
So that's the cleverness of the name. Okay, what's the problem? You just know they're not petting you. Whenever I'm streaming, it's like without a doubt, I will have a cat meowing at me.
Bruce is very asleep. Usually he's outside the door yelling.
Oh, starting to get the feel of the brush back. It's been a while since I've really sat down and inked with a brush. Honestly, missed it. But yeah, when you're asking about like what type of technology and stuff like that to have, I have people running around in power armor, so feel free. Just laser weapons.
In my limited anime reference pool in my mind, I think of like Nausicaa, or it's either that or like the the messed up versions of Acura as like the two extremes, where it's like there's technology but it's completely grown over, or it's like recently, not that long ago, destroyed. Those are like the two.
The what was it? Nausicaa is probably a really good example of the way some of the world is. I actually have some of the I have Titan like robots running around in it. That were the things that burn the world. I forget what they're called. I have those. I have those running around in the world, basically something like that. Actually, I have an entire AI civilization, so they don't like humans. I love how you draw and ink the hair. Oh, thank you very much. I love the way the hair is coming out. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm just trying to get good thin to thick on it, so. Adding a little bit more depth here and there. And this, the interesting thing about her hair is it's white, so that is a sign of what she is, that she has white hair. Then she has violet eyes. I think my only thought for the whole thing is I think I'd rather have done the whole thing in black and white rather than color.
Yeah.
But I think less people would have bought it if it was in black and white. So hate to say it.
Also have to just find ways where we can, be productive and finish stuff. So it's like, one of the things I'll definitely be doing post Undersea Hero is just doing all the lettering on the board, because like it's just another step of having to redo it, after it's put on digitally. Like you have to write the thing, prelim the thing, draw the thing, color the thing, letter the thing, and like all of those steps just add up to a lot.
Yes, they do.
And even if it makes it like slightly less commercial, like I'm making an indie comic book, like let's get real here.
That's very true. It's not like any of us are getting rich off this.
Exactly. And if by some happens where it's like, hey, we want to do something with this that's bigger, well then it's obviously like you would think that's at that time you could have someone helping you color it or something, or having someone else letter the thing. Or...
Yeah. I do have a person willing to letter my stuff, and they basically want to trade artwork for it. They'll trade like lettering for me to do some art for them.
It's not a bad deal.
Nope. Actually, the sword and sorcery book, the more stricter. I mean, I consider this kind of sword and sorcery as well. I mean, there's a bit more magic in it than I would consider for sword and sorcery. And like other weird tech and stuff. But the was it Broken Shackles? I probably will be having my friend Lori Calcaterra doing the lettering for me. And she's like, "Oh, I'll take artwork in exchange." And I'm like, "I'll happily draw your Path of the Pale Rider stuff, so don't worry about it."
Nice.
And she's just like looking for like, a pin up here and there, or cover here and there. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Michael says, my recent comic strip book is shipping tomorrow. I just got the email saying the shipping label has been created. Congratulations, Michael. Round of
Ooh, that's
applause.
awesome.
Yay.
Golf clap? Golf clap.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ontology, thank you. I don't know which one of us you're referring to the cool drawing, but I'm going to preemptively say thank you. So. Now, I mentioned Danny's white hair, and she is a little bit of an anomaly in the world. She has the ability to use something that's often called the Krieg. And basically, it's a Krieg practitioners are noted by their white hair. And some people think that a Krieg user is basically their whole thing is fighting, that they are the greatest of hand-to-hand combatants and things of that nature. But actually, what the ability is, the ability to survive. If you stick someone who knows how to use, who can access the Krieg, like in the middle of a desert with no supplies, they will most likely walk out just fine. And in the Sunset Kingdoms, it's called Wudon. And they have a little bit better of an idea what it is. So, and then on top of that, she has her Sentinel abilities, which is an excuse for me to do Jedi-like powers crossed with Iron Fist. So, there's a reason why her name is Danny.
We've talked about Power Man and Iron Fist as being one of the wonderful, reliable, enjoyable comics of the dollar bins.
I love Power Man and Iron Fist stuff. It took me forever to get all of them, but then again, I was surfing, I think, just dollar bins for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a really good copy of the first appearance of Iron Fist. My first Luke Cage is okay. I'm pretty sure it was a dollar bin dive, though.
Hey, hats off to you. I had to pay definitely more than $1 for my first Luke Cage.
I'm pretty sure I got lucky. So
I did find the issue 2 of that. That's the first Claire Temple and stuff in like a $5 bin, and it was in pretty good shape.
That's completely worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have someone who wishes to make an appearance.
Hello.
This will be the kitten. That's Kaiju. Ah! No, you're not going up on the drawing. I'm not going to allow it. I will pet you a little bit, though. Nope, you're not going up there. Go down.
Well, here's one idea. Repetitive shapes is trying to pull the eye through. Circle, circle, circle.
Actually, I really like that.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. I like that idea. And like how you got the sword in the foreground and everything.
Yep, and then there's two, sometimes on those there's like the little decorative thingies that hang off of it.
Yep.
That's where the little circles would be.
Yeah, no, that works perfectly. I really like that a lot.
Thank you.
No, kitten. He's trying to invade.
I know sometimes everybody wants what some artists call like the boxing covers, where it's like the punchy smashy pose on the front for everything, but I was trying to think of like you said she doesn't have the sword yet, so it's like if there was one like inside, I would put more like debris and stuff down here so that you would see that it's like amongst this thing, and I might even put like like some plants growing on it or something.
Yeah, no, that'd be really cool. She doesn't have the sword yet. Basically, it's she'll acquire it in the course of the story arc. And she has like no problem taking weapons and stuff off people that she beats the ever living hell out of. So that's where she got the cape.
Gotta have room for the Alley Cat Comics logo.
Yep. Super
Actually,
important.
I think that circle would be down here with the title up there.
I really want to do a book that has your Helena with Danny.
Yeah, that would be cool. We do a crossover at some point. Jay says he's got to bounce. I'll see you.
See you later, Jay. Good talking to you.
We have one concept, so it's not a total goose egg this evening.
Nope.
Did one wide one. Maybe we'll try to come up with one tighter shot. If it was a pinup, I would just do like a, running towards the viewer type of through the debris.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe she'd be fighting like a half beat up robot or something.
No, that'd be cool. I'm all for that. I said Nausicaa is definitely an influence on me, and stuff like that it's a big. I got a lot of influence, so.
I actually think that was the first manga I ever read.
That's a good way. It's a good place to start. I mean, I know my first was Lone Wolf and Cub.
Okay.
When Epic was publishing them with the Frank Miller covers.
Yeah. And I remember always seeing the issues of Acura that Epic put out in the dollar bins, but I never picked them up.
Yeah, I have the whole run of Akira because of that.
Yeah. I picked it up in a trade at some point further down the line.
Yeah, I got the whole thing as I have the it's like the 25th anniversary collection or something like that was put out. It's got the really it's like the first like truly accurate translation of it and everything. It's like they actually, kept it going from right to left, and they kept like all the sound effects in and everything. And it's a beautiful book. One of these days, I'm going to finish the video I've been working on of all the different variations of Akira, and going over like the movie, the epic line, the manga, the like more of the original manga and stuff, and like how they made it and stuff. It's going to be a long movie, a long video. I'll
Yes,
probably have to break it up. Because I mean, I got all of the epic ones, and I got that one, and I actually have some of the Japanese issues. They're in collections. I don't have the original like Jump issues or whatever. It wasn't in Shonen Jump. I forget where it appeared, but I have some of the original Tonka bombs of it. Okay, like one or two. Akira was always kind of hard to get. Oh yeah, and I got like the Dark Horse ones that they came out with years ago.
I think the version I read was like manga sized.
Mm.
I don't remember the publisher, but it was many years ago.
It's all good.
Let's go back to this reference. Oh, come on, phone. It's telling me it can't open the PDF. Damn you.
Yeah, don't do that. Is that the PDF I sent you?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Might just be my phone.
Ugh. Oh, and if anyone is curious to what the Lamescate symbol on her cheek is, that is actually a symbol of slavery. Technically, she is an escaped slave. When she came over from what I call the Sunset Kingdoms, the group she was with unfortunately found themselves, well, in the presence of a very, very bad man. So I guess I could give like a trigger warning for the book in that sense, that it does feature slavery. I do not portray it in a good light.
I can't imagine you would.
No. No. That's a hell no. I mean, one of the major cultures in the area is very Roman-esque. That's one of the reasons why there's slavery about. So. The city of Raven's Edge is they're kind of a hodgepodge of places. It's inspired a bit more by the city of Sanctuary from Thieves' World, and Lankmar from Ferd and the Grey Mouser. And the first few stories will take place there.
It's been a long time since I've read Fritz Leiber.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I love the Mike Mignola adaptations that were put out. Those are fun.
Yeah, it was Chaykin wrote them for the one for Epic, the miniseries, and I think Williamson did the inks. And don't remember who did the colors.
Yeah, it looked very Hellboy.
So, it looked like Chiarello, but I don't know if it was.
I don't think it is Chiarello. But yeah, I loved those adaptations. I thought Chaykin did a great job, and I loved just Mignola's art just in general is, well, he's badass.
Master of silhouette.
Oh god, yeah.
Then they did an Iron Wolf graphic novel together.
Yes, they did.
It's hard to find.
Very. I'm friends with Howard Chaykin on Facebook. He's amusing.
He is. I always make a point to see Howard at shows that he's at. I've had a beverage with Howard before, afterwards, and
an adult beverage.
He did not have a beverage. I had a beverage.
I said, did you have an adult beverage?
I did, yes. But yeah, he was 100% Howard all the time. I wouldn't say, because some people, you never know when you meet them at a show if they're just putting on a polite affectation. Nope, it is 100% Howard when he's answering questions or talking about his work or illustrators or show tunes. Another one of his.
Oh yeah, he loves his show tunes. I like Howard a lot. He's a really cool guy. I've only met him a couple of times, but he was always super nice.
I think you were at the Boston Comic-Con that he was at, where he looked at my stuff, and he just was. It's one of my favorite. I wish I could get him to let me quote him on it when he said, "I have seen Total Bleep, and this is not Total Bleep."
I do remember that. Yes, that was that. What was that show? That show was great.
It was a great day.
Yeah. I have seen Total Bleep. This is not Total Bleep.
Yep.
no, I think my funniest art review I ever got was from Neil Adams, and I was at New York Comic Con, and I stopped by his table because I wanted to get some things from Neil Adams,
Yeah,
and
cool.
I had my portfolio with me, and he's like, "Well, why didn't you attend the portfolio thing this morning?" I said, "I was on a train up here." He goes, "You should have gotten here earlier." And I'm like, "I can only do so much, man." So I had my portfolio down. Didn't ask him to look at it or anything like that. He picked it up and started going through it. He's like, "This sucks. This sucks. Don't quit your day job. This is awful." Then he goes, "Oh, this is good." He's like, "Do more like this." And then he literally pulled out like copy paper and did like a trace over on my stuff and was showing me how to fix it.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, "Well, thank you, sir."
Yeah, I've definitely sat in earshot of Neil's famous portfolio reviews.
Yep. I mean, his reviews of Frank Miller has funny stories about his reviews of his stuff. Like, walk in, "Why do you keep bringing me this shit?" My apologies. I didn't mean to say that.
That's all right. I just knew that there were a couple of kiddos in the audience.
Oh, yeah. I try to watch myself in your streams, so.
Yeah.
Mine, I don't hold back. Uh, but yeah, he is, he was a very interesting man. Like, "Why do you keep bringing me this crap?" Then he finally gets something. He makes a phone call. "I got somebody for you. Give him work."
And then he's like, "Let me tell you about Hollow Earth theory."
Yeah, very true. Yeah,
It's on YouTube still. His personal opinions on that
yes,
stuff.
he is definitely a Schaefer person.
Hollow Earth theory. So
Yep, he is a big fan of the Schaefer mysteries. I still don't know if he's actually serious when he says what his beliefs on it.
he made like 30 hours of YouTube videos about it. So I'm gonna say he was in.
Probably true. Yeah, that's way too much for a joke. And I believe in the long con when doing jokes, and that's a bit too far even for me.
Maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. But
I mean, I'm the person that when I worked security at an assisted living and nursing home place, I got bored and I conducted an experiment for science where I slowly started to wean all the overnight nurses off of their caffeinated coffee onto decaf. And once I had them all on decaf for about a month, I then replaced it with espresso.
and on that night, they all floated away.
Pretty much, yes. And that's what I did to my dad. Didn't require as much setup, but it did require some setup. Because I saw the movie The Ring. I went to see it on opening night. On opening night, they were giving out videotapes to everybody who went that had the cursed video on it. So, needless to say, I got an idea. And I acquired the movie well before it was officially released. I won't go into how or why. But I went and I pulled a few scenes out of it, and since it was basically recorded in a movie theater, it looked like crap anyway, and that's kind of what I wanted. So, I then went and pulled some of the lines from it and everything, particularly when the little girl says 7 days. I then went and I had a Dell Axiom at the time, which is for those who in the audience are old enough to remember, it's basically the Dell version of a Palm Pilot. And I had an add-on for it that turned it into a cell phone. Back in those days, caller ID didn't work on those types of cell phones.
Back in those days, caller ID was very spotty. Very spotty.
Yes, it was. And so I called the house. My dad answered. Actually, when my dad went out to smoke a cigarette, I swapped the videotape that he had in the VCR of like the shows he was recording with the curse tape. So he came in and watched the tape. I then called the house, and he heard the little girl's voice go, 7 days. And he was like, what the hell is this? And he just like hung up. He was like looking at the phone and everything, and he decided to go out and smoke another cigarette. And I put his tape back. I then went, 7 days later, I replaced his tape when he was out, and had the little girl climbing out of the well and coming towards the TV. And right before she comes out of the TV, I killed the power to the entire house.
Terrible.
Yep. I got the whole name screamed at me. Alison Danielle McGlone. What the?
That's definitely grounds for the middle name.
Yep. Got the whole damn thing yelled out. It was a scream followed by my name.
Full name.
Yep, the full name.
Here's more of a pinup style one.
That's looking kind of cool too. She's got the sword there and everything, and yeah, I'm liking that too.
Blocked off with like the shading of the frame. I'd probably even black out even more. I think I would just black out this whole basically bottom area.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Want it out, black it out.
And then have a heavy, obviously light sources here.
Yeah, I have to do that whenever I'm whenever I'm doing shadowing and all that. I always got to make a little arrow over my light sources.
Always.
Otherwise, my light source gets really weird. So.
Or it's easy just to forget. Like you can be plugging along with your composition, and then it's like, oh, there should be a backlight here, or there should be less light there.
Yep. Yeah, I've definitely done that. I love coming on your show. It always gives me the excuse to do things old school.
Love having you on the show. And I'm glad you do things the old school. So,
I mean, actually, the majority of the comic was done old school. I'm only doing the last few pages digitally just for speed's sake.
Yeah. Well, Bruce has risen, and I think we're getting to the end here. And yeah, it's almost
it is about that time.
Well, we did the study, and we got two prelims. So
I got this piece pretty good weight. I'm kind of liking how it's coming out.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since I've done brush inking, so this actually feels really good. So
awesome.
I'm gonna go back and do more brush inking, I think.
Yeah. Did we get the $1 bump? Did we get to 700?
Should probably look to see if I actually got anybody to bid on it.
Click.
I wasn't really promoting it that much. Nope, still at $6.99.
$6.99. All right.
You know, we'll get it at some point.
We will.
Still got like 11 days left.
11 days. Got the link there. Link in the description. And yeah, thanks again, Allison.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. I always love coming on and seeing you. And see you later, everybody. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.